Okay, the amount of times that I start this over and over because I don't know how to start is insane. But anyways, what's up? I'm back for another diary entry, quarantine catch up or whatever. Um, and again, this is going to be kind of scatterbrained because I had a lot of things that were on my mind or whatever that I wanted to talk about, and honestly, I wanted to give myself some time just to think, before I came and really put it, to paper, put it to video about, just what I've been feeling, like what's been going through my head. And so the first thing, the last couple of, honestly, the last week, but I guess couple of weeks, because it's just been like one thing after the other. It really got me thinking about just life in general. And, as I get older, I'm realizing that there's never going to be a point in life where things are just going good. Like, you know, people always say, like, older people always talk about, like, when it rains, it really pours, or, it's always something. And I realized that that's pretty much how life is going to be forever. There's always going to be something, there's going to always be some uphill battle, there's going to be always some turmoil, and that's just because life doesn't care about us. But I think that in all of that, all you can really have is your perspective. And I think that when you look at life as not trying to get to this point where everything's going to be perfect and everything's going to be in order and everything's going to just be, roses and daisies, and you realize that life is really a journey and things are going to happen. But when you have the perspective that, you know, I'm not going to worry about things that I can't control, and most of the things in life you can't control, and so if you can't control it, why worry about it? My mom, I was literally just talking to her earlier, and she was like, people always say, uh, if you're gonna worry, why pray? And if you're gonna pray, why worry? And people say that, casually, but there's real meaning in that, and there's real truth in that. And I feel like, I think I said this in a previous video or whatever, but life is really about perception. It's really about what you decide to feel. And though life for this last couple of weeks for me has been very up and down and kind of all over the place, I think that once I kind of got to the having the perspective of, if I want to be happy, if I want to be at peace, I will be. And you take the power out of it. It's like there's no need to be waiting until things get better, because things are just gonna be things. Like, life is just what it is. And so you can decide to either be mad and upset about something that you don't have no control over, or you can be like, today I'm gonna have a good day. Despite everything that's going on, I just am. So that's also, I feel like, going into my other thing about actively thinking about peace and being more intentional about it. I think that, for me in my life, y'all, I'm always talking about how I really want to be at peace within my heart and in my soul and things. But I think that actually takes intention, and it is a mindful action. Just like mindfulness is a thing that you have to actively do. And I think that I'm realizing, like, sometimes, like, peace is not going to just be this thing that just overcomes you. Like, it's just not. It's going to be something that you actively work on every single day of your life. And because you're going to have to actively work on it every single day of your life, you don't have to be like, dang, when is it just going to happen? Because 9 times out of 10, it's never just going to happen. Like, you're not going to just wake up one day and just be peaceful. Like, your life's just not going to be this, like, peaceful place. But you can create peace within yourself, and that takes intention, that takes an action, that takes mindfulness. And that's really what I've been practicing myself, is really working on my mindfulness and, like, really being in tune with what I feel emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. Like, asking myself, like, for real, how do you feel today? Like, no BS, no short and cute answer, but, like, honestly, how are you really feeling? And I think that that's really been helping me. I feel like that's a life skill that I definitely want to take in the next couple of months and on in the future. And so the next thing is to get into, like, what's been happening. But again, like, I'm not going to get into it too much because it has to deal with other people. And I am not too prone on defaming anybody's character or personality, because I am a firm believer in the things that God wants you to know, he will reveal to you in time. Because sometimes we'd be like, I want to know the truth, but sometimes you're really not prepared for that. So, but basically, after 2 years of being very wrapped up, extremely wrapped up in a person, in a guy, I have freedom. I have real freedom from that situation. He has moved on and got another girlfriend. And I must say that from that situation, not just taking a pause and having a praise report for the fact that I feel so relieved. I think it's such a relief when it's like the option is no longer on the table. It's like he has a girlfriend now, so there's just nothing there. But from something that I heard August Alsina say, he was talking about that situation with Jada, and he was saying that, I can die happy because I feel like I live my life on full. I feel like I definitely echo his sentiments about this specific situation with this guy, is that I don't have any regrets about the situation, because I feel like I put my full self into that situation and I showed up, and I can say, and I feel like that's why I'm very happy and I feel free. I feel relieved because I know that I did everything that I could have done to make that work. I tried to show up, but it's like, if somebody just doesn't want you to be in their life, then so going back to what I just said, like, you can't control that. You can't control how someone feels or doesn't feel. And like I said in the previous video, it's like, you can't, and I could say a lot about what happened during those last 2 years, but it's also okay just to be like, things happen and I have no control over it, and so this is where we are. And so other thing that I want to talk about from that situation is the idea of an ego death. That's a big one that I feel like has been really like in my head the last week, is like really thinking about how letting go of your ego and your pride is probably going to be the best thing I can ever do for myself as a young adult. Like, after I heard that he had moved on, he got a girlfriend and everything, like, I wasn't upset or anything like that, but I was like, oh, why doesn't he want to be with me and things like that. But I realized that was definitely my ego, because when I really thought about it, I was like, I don't really think that I want to be with him either. Like, I really do believe that I enjoy the idea of experiencing romantic love, because I never have. But I can't say that me and that guy would work well together. And every time I think about what I want out of love, what kind of love I want, what I want out of a partner, and the needs that I have as a woman, as a human being, I didn't see it. I honestly was like, I don't see it. So when I started being like, oh, but he has a girl, and it was like, I started to think, I was like, Andrea, this is your ego. Your ego is hurt because somebody is telling you that they don't want you. And it was like, I had to sit with that, and I'm like, my ego, and I'm not really an egotistical or a prideful person at all, but like every human being, it pops up sometimes. But I'm like, if you can control that, and you can stop letting your pride and your ego get in the way of things, you can gain a lot of clarity and perspective from a lot of stuff. And you don't have to hold such tension in your body, because it's like, this is not even real. And so that also got me to the thing about being unequally yoked. So all my life, my mom has always talked about, or not even my mom, but just like people around me have always talked about being unequally yoked, or, and I never really understood that, really. Like, I always felt like it was a monetary thing. Like, it was like, you don't want to be unequally yoked with somebody, like, monetarily, like, things like that. But as I've gotten older, and especially after the 2 years in this situation, I think that I'm realizing that, for me at least, being unequally yoked has a lot more to do with your spirit and your character and just the things that are fundamental to who you are as a person. And for me, the lesson that I got out of that is that I think I have to be a lot more comfortable with who I am and just the fundamental pillars of my personality. Like, I am somebody who is very community oriented. I'm very just I'm really the type of person who's very much so in search of what it is to be a person, what it is to be a better person, a better functioning human being. Like, there are just things that are important to me that I talk about all the time, like, that are just, it would be hard for anybody who doesn't echo those sentiments to be around me. And I think that, you know, as most people who have very strong opinions about things, they can often be polarizing. Like, people either really like them or they really don't. Like, there's really not much of a middle ground. And I think that the things that make me who I am are very strong. Like, and I think that it doesn't blend well with everybody. Like, it's not something that most people, they don't echo the sentiments. Like, especially my idea of being very community oriented, very communal. Like, don't like the whole idea of individualism and everybody looking out for themselves. Like, it's just not something that makes me feel human. It doesn't make me feel connected. I mean, I feel like one of the greatest things in my life are my connections to other people. I enjoy giving. I enjoy being selfless. I enjoy supporting other people. I enjoy showing up for people. I mean, and sometimes it does come at a cost to myself where I don't look out for myself, because I think that sometimes you sacrifice what you want to help others. I mean, so there's just things about me that I feel like me and him did not see eye to eye on, and it's okay. Like, that's the thing. Like, I said this before, where my mom always told me, like, you don't have to be the moral high ground or the person who gets to say what things are wrong or right. Like, it is simple as you put your cards on the table, somebody else does the same, and you guys see if your cards are aligned, if they're parallel, and if they're not, you literally just take your things and you go. There doesn't have to be any hard feelings. And so I think that once I took my ego out of that and I really looked at us for what really made us people, it was never going to be anything. And that's all right, you know? It took me a while to get there, because that's another thing about personality. I'm a very persistent person. I'm a very go-get-em by, you know, I'm very, you know, once I'm in it, I'm in it. I'm a very devoted, focused. My attention does not stray very easily, you know? And I feel like that's another thing that I have to be okay with Andrea. Like, I have to be more comfortable with myself and be very proud of the person that I am, and not feel like I need to change or alter myself because, you know, things don't work out. Now, all that being said, because I want to wrap this up, I also, from this last week, been listening. I've been really opening my ears, and I've been coaching myself through some things, because of the natural inclination I have to be very forgiving and just wanting to be positive, wanting to support, wanting to just, you know, not anything be tension. Like, I hate feeling like I have tension with people. I feel like I do myself a disservice because I sometimes suffer from this unhealthy level of positivity, or this like positivity by any means necessary. And I feel that when you do that, this woman said that you do not give yourself the room or the space to process negative emotions. And I was like, wow. Like, even if I took my ego out of that situation, even if I really looked at it through clear eyes without my rose-colored glasses, that we were very unequally yoked, I can still be hurt. That was 2 years of my life that I was very, that I gave, and I can be hurt that he decided that all of a sudden he wanted to go be with somebody else. Like, it's okay to say that that hurt you. And to be like, my friend from college, she's so funny. She was always like, and I totally thank her for that, because I didn't get it, because she was always like, Andrew, you never hold people accountable. You're always ready to just be like, you know, it's okay and it's fine and let's just move on. And she's like, you need to hold people accountable for what they do and da-da-da-da. And I was like, girl, you know, that's just not me. I'm just, you know, I'm ready to just kind of like kumbaya and just like, let's just move on. And I think being passive sometimes is a defense mechanism, because it's like, I just don't want to go through more hurt than I already have. And so I feel like you can't make anybody be accountable for things that they do. But I am somebody who, again, is a pillar of my personality. I think our social responsibility as human beings, one of the things is our social responsibility is to not create trauma in others. Like, when you can help it. Like, I hate when people are always like, well, it's your baggage, it's your stuff, you should just fix it. Well, it's like, that person didn't get like that by themselves. And so I think that whenever you can, I think that it is your social responsibility as another human being on earth to not create holes and damage and issues in other people when it's not like it's never necessary. Like, it's just not okay to do that. But I absolutely can be upset. I can be hurt about that situation, and it's okay. And then also, you know, I was like, oh, you know, well, you deserve love and all this other stuff. And I was like, Andrea, why? Why did you say that? And it's like, again, that's just my default setting of wanting to be positive by any means necessary. And it's like, I don't feel like people deserve anything that they don't work for. I mean, and you definitely do not deserve things from people that you yourself do not possess. You just don't. Like, you cannot demand things from other people that you don't demand of yourself. And so, I'm trying to make sure I got through everything. But yeah, that was basically what I've been thinking about, feeling. But overall, I feel very happy. I feel like this whole week has been a praise report about just really actively trying to work on myself, trying to see things in myself, and my parents are downstairs now, and just growing as a young woman, as a young adult, and really just having a desire to be better and to ask God to really help me work on myself first. And yeah, that's it. But I'm happy. I feel good. I feel peace, you know. I'm sad that situation is over, but I think that it was time. I think sometimes we do ourselves a disservice trying to hold on to things that have run their course, that just don't feed our spirits. They don't do anything positive for us anymore. And it's okay to be like, it's time to just let that go. So that's everything I want to talk about today. Oh, also my new setup. This is not a new setup. I just feels like, what's gonna make you happy today, girl? Go to some other place in your house. So that's what I did. Also, you know, the hair or whatever. I forgot to say that about the hair or whatever. You know, something new. It's not growing. It's still the same length, but we're, you know, it's something. It's something. All right, so I'll talk to you. Bye, girl.